right, good afternoon. It is now, let's see here, 5:01, and I'll call the Master Plan Committee meeting of Wednesday, July 29th, 2026 to order. First order of business is an attendance roll call, starting with Bob.
Bob and Eric.
Linda Brown.
Carol Gogolinsky.
Meg Schlesman.
Mike Stalker.
Gordon Larrabee.
John Charbonneau.
Bob Ryan.
Rich Preston, thank you.
And we're missing Ross. Rebecca's
Dan.
excused.
Margaret said she was coming.
Oh, Dan?
Here's Rebecca.
No, that's Margaret.
That's
I'm
Rebecca's
sorry.
not going
Margaret?
to be here tonight.
That's Margaret. Who's not?
Who else are we missing?
Dan and Ross.
They may show up
Okay.
late.
Yeah, just, yes.
Anybody on Zoom? That's my knowledge.
Dan Mascroft, 8 minutes. Figure in 8 minutes.
Okay,
Great,
good.
thank you.
Musical chair.
Minutes? Would you be so kind? Take a look at the minutes of July 15th. Four different elements. Got a lot of ground to cover, so.
Yeah. Town services especially.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about,
One minute.
Is it just me, or in paragraph 1, where it says Emily said CMRPC will fund the remaining expenses we take to finish our master plan?
Yeah. Well, they're,
We,
The word "that" could be in there to make it simple.
yeah,
where do you want the that?
After expenses.
The
That it will
remaining?
take.
yeah.
That it will.
We require.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
just
the wording.
kind of-
Fund the
It's just
remaining
the wording.
expenses
Yeah.
we need?
It's just kind of awkward.
Yeah, we need, yeah,
We need.
that would work. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe on the second page, page 180, it says, "The town has made recent improvements to the water main projects." Is that?
Where are we?
Where it says page
Right here.
180.
Oh, action 3.1.
The last bullet item, yeah.
The town has made recent improvements to the water system, water main projects. I don't know.
What about it? What would you like to, I mean, I'd have to
I
look
think-
what we said.
I mean, to the water system,
I think that's what was actually, I think that was Bob's recommendation.
water main project.
Yeah, just the
Water main project.
Yeah, the water main.
It should be water main infrastructure,
Yeah.
made recent improvement to the water main infrastructure.
Well, somebody had not mentioned that infrastructure word, so that's why I didn't write
And I
it.
think Bob wanted to keep it as general as possible.
Yeah, not specific item.
Just projects?
Town
Yeah.
projects has made recent improvements to the water main infrastructure.
Well, I wrote it as it was spoken.
Yeah.
I know you
We
guys
can't
had
change
gone
it.
back and forth
Yeah,
a
they
few
couldn't change
times.
it. If that's what was said, it doesn't matter what was meant.
Yeah.
The minutes have to reflect what was said.
Oh, you can make a motion to, what chapter?
Well, no, you
No,
can't.
no, Bob, you can't go back. If it was said at the meeting, you can't go back and change it, so. If that's what was said, that's what was said, so. Have
The
to live
most you
with
can
that.
do is on your new minutes say, we should have said.
Yeah, bring it up again and discuss
But you
it.
can't change what was already there.
Yeah.
If that's what was said, that was said, you can't change it.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's not a big, I don't think it's a big deal. Just a wording thing.
Make a motion to accept the minutes with the amendment of July 15th, 2026.
So moved.
Motion was made by Carol, seconded by Michael. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, those abstaining?
Abstain.
Aye.
I was not present, so
Okay,
I
Mike,
abstain.
thank you.
No one's
When you
up there on
abstain,
this?
The ayes have it. I don't think we have anyone on Zoom.
Rich, did you get Gordon abstaining as well?
Oh, sorry, and Gordon, thank you. Moving on, let's see here. So Bob has an update regarding reporting to the state.
The only change is all reports are in, monthly reports are in, the quarterly last report is in. We're done, we're waiting for one payment. Emily sent me the receivables, which is the draft copy that was sent in. EO, HLC needed a draft to see what they paid for. They have it, they're reviewing it. As far as I'm concerned, we're done. We got one more check to receive and deposit. And that closes that chapter on that $115,000 loan, grant.
Loan.
Grant.
Well, Bob, thank you for keeping us in the black.
Yeah.
We're there.
Thank you. And hopefully we have enough credits to finish this out.
Well, that's all now on CMRPC for their, the extra funding they discovered.
So now this is really important that we finish up by September, because I don't think we can afford to extend it any further than that.
All right.
Unless we have a bottle can drive.
GoFundMe.
All right. Any questions or comments on that?
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Item 4, I pass it on to Sam from CMRPC.
All right, I guess we're just going to be going over the infrastructure, or the town services and facilities chapter first. So, yeah, I guess.
Do we have copies?
Oh, no, I didn't bring the printed.
What are we looking for?
Just the town services chapter. Do you have any on you?
Yeah, this is what we were given last,
Yeah, it should be in the packet I gave you guys last time.
we were supposed to bring all that,
Oh,
that big,
I thought it was just the three.
oh wow, because I got a lot of paperclip stuff.
Yeah, we can share. Which one are we doing first, Sam?
The town services and facilities chapter.
What page was that on?
46.
46.
46.
Take that big clip.
Do you want me to make copies? Do you want me to make copies?
I should, no, I probably got one.
I know where mine is.
Me too.
Goes from 46 to 80.
It's not on the barrel, is it, Bob? Okay, good.
That's a loan.
Where I put
Yeah,
it.
we have an ambitious agenda tonight, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we work off the screen?
Yeah.
Zoom in a little, maybe?
Yeah, I'll borrow Rich.
Zoom in on the
Carol,
Zoom.
you can,
She's got one there.
What page are we looking at?
I got that.
Margaret's going to
Starting
go
at 46.
online and just do the
46.
one email.
46.
Look at the big screen.
Now, these chapters should just be an overview, because we've already been through these several times, so just
Yeah.
last changes.
Page 46.
Well, yeah, yeah.
You guys
You can
sterilize
spread
it
out,
already
you know.
with the
Thank you.
things we talked about the last meeting?
Yeah, yep. So this chapter, like, it starts out with Emily going over the key terms and definitions. She added that section. And then moving on to 47. I guess, let me see if I can bring up the copy that has the changes that have been made. Let's see. Stop sharing for a second.
What do you mean, the copy that had the changes?
It has the track changes so we can see what's been changed.
Yeah.
Oh. So it won't look like this.
That includes the changes, right, John?
Yeah, that's
What's
what
that?
we should be working on, is the last one, not,
Go back to what we've already done.
right. I don't want to look at all that.
No, that one is the newest draft.
Right.
All the changes are accepted.
Yeah.
So there is another draft that we have that Emily sent
No,
out.
what it'll have is it'll show the difference, it'll
Yeah.
show the changes that was made since the last one in red or whatever, so it'll show the track
Just
changes.
since the last one.
Yes,
Okay.
2 weeks ago.
yes.
Let's do it.
So who's made the changes since 2 weeks ago?
We're not reviewing that one.
CMRPC.
Yeah.
How could they make, on the transportation, we haven't discussed that.
No, not 2 weeks ago, since the last time this chapter was reviewed.
Oh, I see.
Because we haven't
Okay.
reviewed this chapter in a while. but-
So did you draw the short straw today? I think Emily told me she was going to be here.
On vacation.
Track changes and summaries. Okay, so town services.
Just go backwards.
Did I miss someone?
46, 45, 45, go backwards.
Oh, I think I might go the other way.
Oh,
It goes backwards, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so going on to the page 47, we have the addition of the municipal center.
Well, see, we don't have page 27.
47.
47.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have to speak up, please?
So I guess starting out, this is page 46 for you guys. Last time we just kind of like skimmed through it?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Just hit the changes, yeah.
Yeah, because we're on a final draft now, so.
We have 4 elements to hit tonight.
So I guess she removed this comment on water users being billed.
Sorry, could you speak up a little? Maybe it's me. I
I
can't.
can't hear him either, but I'll have
Oh, yeah, but I've got to be taking the minutes, so
Yeah, sorry.
I got to hear them.
I guess, so going into the page of the highway department, we sort of cut out some stuff about, like some details about the highway department.
I got corrections going page by page.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
I've got quite a few.
Okay, then, so what page do your corrections start on?
47,
Okay.
where it's the water and sewer. Because where it said highway was responsible for emergency events, and we had discussed that it's not. It's the water sewer is responsible for emergency events, and highway may assist.
Okay.
I remember we had discussed that. And that should be in the water sewer portion.
Okay, what line is that, sorry?
You're not deleting anything, you just need to add it,
Okay.
that they're responsible for the
So what line?
emergency
What
events.
line, though, where?
At the end, maybe?
Okay.
probably just before how they build.
The highway department, emergency events such as water main breaks are under the responsibility of the department as well. That's not true.
That's not true. That's why when we get to highway, it should say highway assists the water sewer department
Okay.
for emergency.
I know we made that change.
I know we did
Yeah, we
too.
did.
That's why I'm like, we got to go by this page by page.
Okay. So now for the transfer station recycling, is that okay?
I'm sorry, what?
For transfer station, the rest of page 48, is that all right?
Transfer station? Oh, so you added that in highway then?
Yeah.
Or deleted?
It's right under highway, is the comments on the transfer station.
No. You were in the highway department, one emergency events.
Yeah, I noted
No, we already got
that. Yeah, I noted that, yeah.
that.
Well, how's it worded?
We're going to reword it so that it doesn't say that they're responsible for the emergency events.
Okay, but they can assist.
Yeah.
The
Okay, then I can
water
reword it, yeah.
That's the key.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Clearing catch basins, comma, and assist in emergency events such as water main breaks, period.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So for then the rest of that page, is there any other comments?
No.
Okay. So moving on to page 49, we have the discussion of the fire department, the Douglas Primary School, and the Douglas Elementary School.
I had one,
Okay.
because I had kept all the handouts from before. I wrote, add history graph of the rise and fall of the student enrollment. Remember, we were
Right,
talking about
right.
how over the years,
Right.
Dan's here.
yeah, there had been, and I looked all over, and anything about the schools, the municipal funds and all that, and I couldn't see anything about the rise and fall of the student enrollment, how it has declined
Yeah.
in the last, 15 years?
When we did 19...
It wasn't another chapter, though.
Yeah.
I'd like to know where. I looked all over.
I think it was on the
Where
one
else
we
would it
just
be?
did.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know it's somewhere else.
Well, we've already gone over economic development and 2 others last
I
time,
know.
and it wasn't there.
Might have been in population and housing.
Yeah, I was.
We did
looking at
that.
it earlier and I saw it.
Yeah,
See
I
if I
saw
can
it too.
find it.
Maybe it's when they project things.
Yeah, because this chapter is more about the condition of the facilities more than the enrollment trends.
Right.
Okay.
Because
It might have been under like population, demographics, things
Yeah.
like that.
Because I remember we had wanted it in one of the graphs
It's on page 5.
Yeah,
of this.
the whole thing, yeah, page 5.
So, under key finding 2,
That would be page 5.
it talks about public school enrollment. But I don't know if that,
Yeah.
in the beginning, if that's just an overview, like a snippet of
Yep, there's enrollment. Bada bing, bada boom.
more in the back, or,
This is in the population and housing chapter.
Yeah.
yeah, yep.
That way there, it's not duplicated 40 times in this.
Well, and the thing is, I think that would be the better location for it rather than this one. This is about the condition of the
Right, right.
facilities and improvements. that we-
Okay.
Right. It is where it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all set.
Next.
Okay.
Next page. What's your next page correction?
Well, maybe somebody else has some. Who knows? As we go.
What do you have next, Sam, for the next correction?
I don't think we do.
It would be moving on to page 50. I have to fix this.
Okay, so no changes on page 50? Okay.
Yeah, the changes on page 50 were all grammatical. Okay. 51.
You want?
On 52, under municipal government and services, the second paragraph, it says figure XX in the appendix. When will we see the appendix to approve it? And, or is that just a figure XX is just a filler?
We ended up not having an appendix. So if she does have a figure that would go in the appendix here, it would be put into the chapter. And it looks like that's something that she missed, so I'll have to make a note of that and see if she has the figure.
Because I saw the appendix referenced in another thing we're looking at tonight. So there isn't going to be an appendix.
No, it will
Ever.
just be a part of the chapter, any of
Oh.
the figures that would be in the appendix.
So that may be able to be removed.
Yeah.
You may be able to just do search and replace if there are other.
Yeah, figure
references as well.
XXs, yeah.
So I'm sorry, is the data to be inserted, or are we just going to delete the?
I'll check with Emily because she wrote the chapter to see if she has the figure and if she could put it into the chapter or if we would just remove this.
Yeah, you'll have to remove the whole sentence then,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Okay.
And every other reference to it. Appendix, yeah.
Is that it on 52, Linda? Is that it on page 52? Is that it?
Yes. Oh, no. Under Town Finances, second paragraph, where it says, however, with recent economic redevelopment progress in Douglas, add the word redevelopment, because that's what I had written.
Where is it?
And I think that must be a Bob Manaric word.
Line, where?
Economic redevelopment,
Where?
under Town Finances, second paragraph,
Okay. Okay. However, with recent economic, all right.
redevelopment progress, because I had written that in.
Redevelopment or development? Redevelopment?
I would never make up the word redevelopment.
What do you think?
It should be
Still don't know what it
economic
means, but-
development.
It should be not redevelopment.
Economic development progress, not just redevelopment,
Yeah.
development.
There's no redevelopment.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Somebody said redevelopment, and we agreed on it, so, just saying.
Adding the word development.
If you don't want to,
Do you have that?
read the
Sam?
word development.
Yeah.
okay, so that sounds good, development.
But, yeah, okay. All right, to page 53, it's mostly charts. Any comments on these? Okay. Page 54.
Well, I had written down the past handouts, put a percent, like the schools get 70% of our municipal funds.
79 now, I think, is the
Are
current.
you sure?
Sounds
Because I
high.
came off some stuff, and it wasn't that high.
That sounds high.
That's very high.
Well, we can do the math easily on the
In fact,
Excel.
I came up with it, the percentage that we're paying now for schools is a lower percentage than we were paying in '98.
I thought it was in the 60s, Carol.
I think it was like 54 or something.
Okay, even lower.
Okay. I'll just add to include the percentages on the chart.
Yeah.
I know because I spent a week tracking stuff down.
So that's what we need to add somewhere in here when we're talking
Well,
about
we
the
have to know what
schools.
they actually are.
Yes.
Do we actually have,
But we had discussed 70%, because I wouldn't make that up.
well, somebody must have made it up, plucked that out.
I think it was you.
No, it wasn't me.
And then we need to break down from the schools, like how much BVG gets, school choice, and our costs separately.
We might not have easy access to that
Yeah.
data.
Yeah, they may not be able to get that.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Carol, did you say 54% you went?
That's what I came with. Don't, somebody else better.
Now, was that
double check
just our cost, or does that include Valley Tech? And maybe that's where the 70%
it.
comes
I
from.
don't think so. There's no way that's
So
70%.
these are colored.
Because you never run the rest of the town on
She wants like a
30%.
percent
That's why taxes
in
keep
there.
going up.
Well, they do keep going up.
Yeah, and we can make it work with that graph to make it look better while it includes the percentages.
Well, the graph might be a silly
Yeah,
question.
like if
It's
you-
going to be colored, right?
Yeah, it's color-coded here, and it will be
Okay.
color-coded on the
Add
final graph.
percentages in there.
Yeah, we're just going to add
I
percentages.
might have
Thanks.
taken my percentages, I just went to the town warrant. It showed right there how much went to the schools, how much went to, and that was easy to get the percentage. It wasn't, high math.
So do we generally want the percentage there, or just leave it?
I
up to
mean,
you
unless you
guys.
get I wouldn't take it from me. You got to get it from our town accountant.
Audited number, yeah.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
need it?
I don't
It's going to change every
think
year.
we need
Yeah,
it.
this is a snapshot of this
Yeah.
particular period.
Right.
Right.
Maybe we should have it. But maybe we got to get it from Jeannie.
We have the numbers. We just, like, we can add with these numbers that we have here, we can easily add
The
in.
percentages, that's it. Just-
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
Representing the same numbers, just in a percentage.
yeah. Okay,
Move it on.
so moving on to 55.
Yep.
The changes that we have are all just grammatical here. It's 56.
Nothing there.
On 56, where it's 5 Cottage Street, the old fire station, it says vacant municipal building. It's actually not vacant, it's unoccupied. I mean, it's used for storage.
They use it for
A
storage.
vacant would be bare floors.
Empty.
And we do use it.
Yep.
So that should be changed to,
I think unoccupied's good. Nobody lives there, so.
yeah, unoccupied
nobody
but
lives-
used for storage, town
Nobody
vehicle
lives-
storage.
Nobody lives in the town hall either.
Yeah, true. There you go.
Sometimes I think Bob does, though.
I would just scratch vacant and write municipal.
IRS address.
Scratch vacant.
And whereas
And
the
put
14... the
Municipal building currently used for storage. If you could fit that in there. I mean, they have the old 30-something fire engine in there. They have,
Oh, there's
vehicles in there.
tons of vehicles in there.
In poor condition, maybe out of the fact that it's really not in good condition.
It
So we
isn't.
should at least reference that it's in poor condition and it's,
Well, it says
Yeah, it says requiring maintenance.
Future action, it's
Requiring
there.
maintenance.
Yeah, that should be noted.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's why it's under aging, deteriorating,
yeah, okay.
so yeah, it's
Oh,
there.
okay, it's under aging and
Yep.
deteriorating?
Yep.
Okay.
So how are we wording this so we don't get into this crap that we had with this development?
Unoccupied,
Unoccupied.
used for vehicle storage, needs maintenance.
So vacant
Or-
is going to
Yeah, it already says
unoccupied.
required
Right.
maintenance, so yeah.
Municipal building used for storage, requiring maintenance.
Yep. Yep.
And
That's-
But that sounds like the storage things need require
like
maintenance.
books or something. Well, we could use for vehicles, that's all it's in there is vehicles. The stuff they use for water rescue, and there's a couple of big trucks
Is the
in there.
fire truck in there?
No.
No, okay.
Okay,
So used for storage should go after maintenance to be politically correct.
Right.
And it should be just vehicle storage, because that's all that's in there.
Well,
And I wouldn't put papers in there or important documents, or, I mean, that's included in storage. But if you've got vehicles, they're just out of the elements.
okay, so for page 57,
Nope, still on 56.
okay.
The 19 Main Street is gone. The brown building?
Okay.
no, that's the Buckeye.
Demolished.
No, 14 is the Buckeye.
Okay.
19 Main Street
Oh, okay, yeah.
is...
So if it's
So
been
you can
demolished,
just delete it.
it's moot, we can take it out.
Can take it out.
There you go.
And, let's see,
Wait. 14 and 19 are too close.
what do you mean?
What's the building that got demolished?
The
That
19.
cemetery?
Yeah, probably is,
That's not 19. Up by the cemetery?
it's a good question.
Could
The
be.
building they just took down
Yeah, yeah.
is not,
Well,
14 and 19
Main
are very
Street
close.
ends at the cemetery. So how many houses do you think there are?
It's going to be an awful lot between
No,
downtown and Main, because they
then
usually,
it would be like 1 Main or 2 Main.
do they start there or they go the other direction?
19 Main?
That was demolished?
There you go.
Okay, so there we go.
19 was demolished?
Yes.
See, this is where Becca would keep us on the straight.
I know.
Yeah,
We can really miss her.
Okay, so that can be taken out.
I don't have my
Yeah.
laptop.
Yep.
It's next to me.
yeah. Okay. Anything else for 56?
Yes. And then the paragraph after that, where it's talking about 11 Gleason Court, it says how it had gone out for bid years ago in 2012, and you could add to that, add more recent RFPs, also proved unsuccessful. Because we've already done 2 RFPs for the old grammar school, and we're still, they came back as, first one was
All you have to do
ridiculous.
is make that multiple RFPs.
Two new RFPs have gone out and have been
Again, I don't wanna get
unsuccessful,
Tied down to a number, they've just been multiple, just make it multiple RFPs.
have been unsuccessful.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, okay. And you don't even have to put a date, right?
No?
And
Okay.
someone just looked at it last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Adam did a site walk with the company last week.
Hey. Moving on.
So for page 57,
I have no idea.
Go.
yeah, we don't have any for this one.
Nope.
No.
We haven't made changes. 58,
Nope.
just a grammatical change here. 59. Yeah, 59, we got nothing. So for key finding 4 on page 60,
Well, the end of the first paragraph, the last sentence where it says, initiative to record all committee and board meetings and post them online, the town, where it should be post them online on the Town of Douglas YouTube page. So insert the word on after online.
Just take out online and say, post them on the Town of Douglas page.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just take out online, that makes sense.
Well, YouTube is not the Town of Douglas page.
That's true.
It has to be, that's why they put online, I think.
She's right.
sorry, say that again? The Town of Douglas YouTube page?
Then post them online
Yeah.
on the Town of Douglas YouTube page.
Okay, so if we took out online, why
No.
would that be a problem?
They're saying take out online, but
Just post them on the
put the
Town of Douglas
word
YouTube?
on between online and the.
And I agree.
Okay,
Yeah, it's grammatically more correct.
Yeah.
gotcha.
Because our postings are YouTube, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Adding the word on,
Okay, anything else for page 60?
agree with that?
Yeah.
No. Okay. 61. For us. Yeah, we had nothing there. 62. Moving on to key finding 5. Yeah, we just had a grammatical change here. Key finding 6 is on page 63.
Cool, nothing there.
Well, no, so when I'm flipping on this page, I'm looking at like the track changes are off.
Oh, okay.
But then I move over to this page and I can see the track changes, so it's a little tricky to keep track.
Page numbers might not line up.
Yeah, the page numbers here don't, for sure. For key finding 6, we took out a paragraph about the education costs.
Yep.
But other than that, that page is pretty much the same aside from some grammatical stuff.
So it should be just 2 paragraphs, Sam?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah,
With figure 5.
yes.
okay. On page 64, we have the voices from the community and then some graphs that we added. Actually, on this page 64, it's just the voices of the community.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Key finding 7 is on page 65. Just grammatical changes from us. That look good to you, Linda? Okay. For page 66, for us, we don't have anything, I believe. Yep. Key finding 8.
What's that draft? Oh, that's on page 69. huh?
Wait. Because she added a key finding 8 after. But, yeah, key finding 8 look good? That's on 67? Okay. And then 68 is more of key finding 8. And then this is the last figure before we go on to the recommendations on page 69. Actually, sorry, page 70 has another figure. But then we go into the recommendations on page 71. Um, 71, we just had some grammatic changes. '72. It's also just grammatical changes. It's page 73. Page 74. On action item 2.2, we took out a sentence here. Other than that, it's the same. Moving on to page 75. Just grammatical changes. Goal 3 is on page 76.
I have a question now. It says action item 2.6, evaluate the long-term sustainability of the town's solid waste system and identify pathways for future management. I don't remember ever discussing this. And I've only missed one meeting, and it wasn't this. And is the reason for this, is our current process not working with Board of Health? I mean, because it talks about we should create our own pickup service and...
Based on the document with the changes tracked, it doesn't look like this was a new addition, so I'm assuming that it was gone over at the last meeting that we had for town services. But how do people feel about this? Action item 2.6.
Was it just glossed over, or?
Yeah, possibly.
It says if the town wants to do it, just telling you what can happen.
It says evaluate.
Evaluate.
Yeah, so that's
evaluate.
the kind of language you've used,
Yeah.
explore, evaluate, so
Yeah.
We're supposed
it
to be
just means
looking,
that's a possibility.
we're supposed to be looking 20 years out,
Right.
not right now.
Yeah, so maybe it would be cost effective for the town to establish something like this. So,
It's just evaluate, or it might not
Yeah.
be.
What's the date of these changes that this was done?
This would have been any time between now and the last meeting that we had on town services.
which would have,
Which was? Because what I have is the one from January.
It was prob-
That's the last one I have.
yeah, that'd be, I think.
I mean, if
since
this,
then.
you know, I didn't see the red highlighted one except online.
So again, this is just given the option to explore this possibility, which I would, obviously, that's something that I'm not going to say, you know, definitely needs to be taken out, because if the town wants to look at it, the town can certainly look at it.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if there was any big deal why it was put in here, so.
I don't remember
I don't
a lot of
either.
discussion on this, to be honest.
I don't remember any.
Yeah, so obviously it was okay.
Okay.
Sure.
because it wasn't in the January one at all. And
Okay, so moving on to page 77.
Not much there.
Not much there. 78, goal 4.
Do you have something on 78?
no,
Doesn't look like there was any changes here either. For goal 5 on page 79.
79. All right, the third paragraph. Community engagement, blah, 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 insect-borne diseases, forest management, and reducing fuel load on privately owned land. What does that mean? What's the fuel load?
Which action item is that under?
5.1, third paragraph, second paragraph.
And 5.1.
It says reducing fuel load.
Third line down in the-
Maybe we missed it the
You know-
last
you know
time,
what
but
that
what
is?
does it mean?
That's when you have all this dead stuff on the
Oh,
ground.
so
Yes,
it's
for fires, that's right.
reducing
That's
Fires, yeah.
fire fuel load?
No, that's,
No, that's correct.
Yeah.
It's fuel.
But if I had to think about it, and you all are not saying anything, and Carol's the only one that got
Well,
it,
it says forest management and reducing fuel load.
So that makes
that
sense.
relates to forest management.
In that context.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then, let's see, last paragraph, it says there are lack of municipal water service outside the northeast section of town.
That's
It
not-
should be
That's not completely true. yeah.
central. There's a lack of
Do
municipal.
we want to be that specific, Bob?
Well, the northeast is state forest and above.
No, that's northwest.
Oh, northwest, oh, you're right.
But the municipal water service does extend through the town center and out to the west. Do we want to take that sentence out and not be that specific, Bob?
I'm just trying to reread it. There is a
Outside the central. Yeah.
I would strike that sentence right out.
Yeah, and just start with beyond the town
Yeah,
water district.
beyond the town water district.
Yep, just delete that
If they want to
sentence.
know where the
Yeah.
water district is,
Yep.
just look for hydrants.
That's right.
And it's going to change
Yeah.
over this
Yeah.
1-year period.
Yep.
Right.
Take the first sentence out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you going to remove?
Just that first
The entire
sentence.
first
That's it.
sentence.
Doesn't need to be in there.
There is a lack of municipal water service outside the northeast section of town.
Yeah, you got that.
That will change,
Yeah.
so just strike it.
Okay.
Can you strike
Oh.
that?
Of course.
Page 80 is action item 5.3.
The first paragraph, the fire department is currently working with the planning board to create regulations around cisterns, dry hydrants, and
Yes,
so on.
that's true.
So that is true?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've been in front of us once
Yep.
Oh,
on
good.
discussion.
Okay.
Just talked to Kelly about that status today.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's town services.
The end.
Moving on.
Moving
Should
on.
we make a motion and approve it and all that? Because we did the last time on economic development and the
Yeah,
other.
I think we-
Chapter.
Yeah, we did.
Individual motions.
Motion?
All right, do I hear a motion?
Approve the chapter on town services as amended from our conversation.
So moved.
We have a motion made by Bob, seconded by Michael. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, those abstaining,
This one's much
the
shorter.
ayes have it. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a long one to get done.
I put too many paper clips. My power went out this afternoon, so I had nothing to do. and
What's up next, Sam?
Transportation and circulation.
Come on. In Douglas, no power?
Tree down.
We don't have any. Sorry. Oh, sure.
You got it.
All right.
Transportation.
All right, we already did land use.
Yeah.
Okay. So that starts on page 81.
Any changes there?
Not for us, just grammatical. But do we want to wait for John to get back? Or just continue through it?
Should we wait for John or no? I don't know.
Then we'll give
John
it some-
Charbonneau?
Oh,
We didn't miss him. You didn't miss him, Linda.
I didn't see him
We got
leave.
anything marked up, but let's keep going.
All right, so for
Let's
page,
keep going, please.
Well, I'm
right,
only one
82?
with changes here. I don't have any paper clips, so wait a minute.
So 81 is good,
Yes,
and we're on 82.
yep.
actually, the only change I have, well, I have a couple, but on page 93, it references East Douglas, but those are supposed to be fixed, I guess. 3 times on that one page.
Let's get to that one when we get to it.
Well, we're going.
Okay, good.
Did you say that was on 93?
Yes,
Let's wait till we get to that page.
all right. We were
So
trying to
82?
speed it up.
We're on
Yeah.
83?
We're on, 83 now.
Would it be possible to make that legend a little bit bigger, Sam?
Yeah, I can make the legend bigger. Actually, going back to 82, I just wanted to mention that we did make a lot of changes here regarding our description. That's 82, right? Yeah. We changed our description of like what Stantec did and just made some modifications to like where we're including the budget, so we didn't include it in this paragraph here. But then, yeah, going on to 83, I can definitely make the
Same
legend
thing on
bigger.
84, Sam, just make the legend bigger to make it more readable.
Okay.
And can anyone else read the street names? Because
That's going to be a tough one, because to capture the whole town on this, in this size, you'd have to have,
do we have to have such large margins? I mean, we could get another whole inch out of
Well, this is
this.
going to be online, so you can go and blow it up online.
that's right.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so you can like zoom in like
All
You
this.
don't have to worry about, look at that, you can read them all, look at that.
And then remember, we're also going to have the maps on horizontal, like it's all going to be on horizontal
Yeah.
pages, so
Right.
it will appear larger.
So that'll be good, 'cause you can,
Well, this is horizontal. This map is horizontal,
Okay, then yeah,
and
it's,
that's as big as it's gonna get on a paper
on a
copy.
paper copy.
Yeah.
okay.
You can go in, and there aren't going to be
Put
that
the
many paper
margins on there.
copies.
That's right,
So,
which is too bad.
Yeah, we can clip the margins on that as well. Just make it so the map is the entire page.
and that came down to read it on occasion. I do.
So they're just going to make this bigger, and the map, they're going to try to
Here's the entire-
blow that up a bit too.
Make
The
the
margin
key,
smaller.
make the legend bigger too. He was gonna. Yeah, that could be.
Is this the way we're going to see it, as
Double that
landscape?
size.
Because we're turning the
In
whole
fact, you could put it
manual
down here.
landscape.
Get rid of Webster and Connecticut.
80, we're on page 84, or
Yeah,
same thing?
yeah, same thing.
Grow the
Basically,
legend and
Yeah.
smaller.
And then for page 85, we just added some details about like the highway department's budget to the insufficient funding section. And added some detail about the aging infrastructure and growing costs.
I'm sorry, I may have missed it. Do we have the total mileage of paved roads? Do we include that in there somewhere, Sam?
I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
I
I
think,
saw on
Total of road.
earlier, the highway department's responsible for like 96 miles of roadway.
That sounds
I think.
about right.
It'd be nice
It was
to,
on the chapter we just did, I thought.
But is it paved roadway? That's what he's asking.
yeah, paved versus
the paved roadway
unpaved.
costs for,
It's like Orange Street.
I don't know if that's combined or not.
There's very little that's unpaved now. Years ago, there was a lot, but not now. And Orange Street's
That's the only
scenic
one.
road, so they don't want it paved.
Well, that's a town road, too.
But it's also scenic.
So it's Oak Street, and that's paved.
If it's already paved.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's good to have those numbers, Carol, because now we're looking at funding for paving the roads. I know the highway department's really struggling to try to keep up with it, and they're doing a great job with what
Right.
they have.
Well, I think it's like repaving, yeah.
It's expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Gravel roads are expensive too.
Yeah, right, they're expensive too.
And they need maintenance almost every year.
They have
Right.
to be graded and gravelled.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably every other month.
After every storm.
And now the runoff was going on the side of the road into woods, now it's going into people's houses.
Yeah.
The new development, so, hello. Where are we?
Okay. So yeah, page 85.
Yep.
Anything else?
It's going to be 80.
Okay, moving on to page 86. Oh, there it is. Right
Oh, there you go.
Highway patching, it shows the...
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, I'll scratch that.
Oh, but that's just patching and paving, painting? That's not,
Yeah, I guess we could include more on that chart.
The next page.
So Sam,
Just talking.
last paragraph on 86, outdated traffic volume data.
Uh-huh.
Responsible.
Just, I'm not crazy about the word see, would like to see new traffic data.
You see test pan
Would like
come up
to
Depot Street?
obtain newer traffic data or collect newer traffic data, I think would be a better word.
Okay.
Are we going to get this increased, his budget?
Again, these numbers are just a snapshot because they're going to be
At the
outdated
existing year.
in no time.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 86. Moving on to 87. Key finding 2, just mostly grammatical changes here on our end. Moving on to 87.
We're on 86.
Yeah, we were on 87.
These numbers may drift.
Wait
Yeah,
a second. 88, sorry.
there you go.
We have a photo of the highway department tractor.
Free advertising for John Deere.
Other than that, just grammatical changes here. Moving on to 89.
They should pay us for that picture.
Key finding 3. Also mostly grammatical changes. I think all grammatical changes, yep.
Do we have the Chapter 90 funding? for
That was
2026?
on the previous page, Rich.
Okay, thanks. I'm catching up, John, I'm getting, thank
Yeah, I
you.
know, it was, what was it, page 86?
I'd love to see those two numbers together.
Page 85, insufficient funding to meet demand discusses the Chapter 90.
Do we know, I don't want to go on a digress here, but do we know what they got together for 2026? They got $722,000 from the town.
It said, it was 789,675.
Okay. Which gets them about a mile of road, right?
Yeah, if that.
I'm sorry, Sam.
On 89 and going into 90, we also defined what a top 5% crash cluster also means, because that term was rather vague. But other than that, no big changes. And this same applies to page 90. Not a lot of big changes there. Just grammatical.
Page 91.
Moving on to page 91.
That map is tough to read.
Yeah, I don't think there's much that can be done about that. Again, it'll be online so people can zoom in.
Can we just leave a note, Tim, that anytime the maps can be tweaked and enlarged? Again, as Carol said, we're going to be looking at them online, but
Maximize them to the margins available.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should also, We can make it so the background is just like gray, instead of having like the topography, and that could help a little bit with visibility, but
I think the topography is good.
okay.
What the heck's going on?
Nice.
Someone trying to get out?
He's stuck in there.
Pretty soon he'll help.
Somebody did just leave.
No, they
Yeah,
went.
even if
Oh, they
that,
went in.
even if that map's on its own page or whatever, because right now it's what, only like a quarter page?
Yeah, we can put it on its own page. Key finding 4 is on page 92.
I think they walked in.
No.
Are they stuck?
Do you guys need help in there?
Okay.
Safe, we're not going to get you.
Yeah, but key finding 4 is like all the stuff under here on page 92 is just grammatical changes. Key finding 5 is on page 93.
And all the references to East Douglas, it should just say
Yep.
downtown Douglas.
Okay.
In fact, two of them say downtown East Douglas.
Yeah, same thing with the map on page 94.
Yeah, but I
Yes,
think the federal government's got that East Douglas written all over it.
doesn't matter, nobody reading
let's not have this
this.
discussion again, please.
Okay.
It's the people that are reading this,
Yeah.
not the government.
Yeah, that's kind of important, Sam. If they can go through and clean that.
Yeah.
That's east out.
So Sam, on the map on page 94, is there a different term other than walk shed? I have no idea what that means. I can kind of gather what it means from looking at that. Could you say walk distance? I think people, I don't know if the
that
general
term
public
before?
knows what walk shed means.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can change that. It does say on where it says figure 8, there is more of a description of it, but we can say it in the legend too to make that more clear.
What does it mean?
5, 10, and 15-minute average walking distances from the
So
downtown.
just put walking distance.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we can just put that in the
Yeah,
legend. Yep.
Distance.
Yep.
Watershed.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Thanks.
Never heard that.
No, I've never heard that term.
So going to page 95, that's key finding 6.
There's 3 more East Douglases in there.
Yeah, even in the title, it's East Douglas. East Douglas,
And there's an appendix reference also.
Okay. And we also added a description of the truck traffic count table here. I think that might have been, we just relocated it.
East Douglas, mentioned last paragraph. Again,
Yep, that's the 3 I had.
In the
Oh, yeah,
title.
that appendix here. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought I heard somebody mention that.
So where's that?
95.
To pull that.
95.
It says see figure XX in the
Yeah, we'll
appendix.
do that, yeah.
But we're not having an appendix.
So then that
Right,
needs
right.
to go.
Yeah,
Take that out.
So anytime it mentions East Douglas or the appendix, we'll
Yes.
just do a track change or a search for the term and get rid of it, yeah.
So that blue chart you have up there, whereabouts is that in the,
Yeah, it's not, in-
Where's it going to go?
The blue chart,
yeah, right there, that, just go back that table.
what does it say? What's the title?
Right there.
it's the traffic counts in Douglas.
Yeah, we don't have that.
I'm not sure why she removed that from this copy, but it should be in there, so. I'll,
Well, maybe because there is no appendix now, so they put it in here.
yeah, but this should be the most recent version, so I'm gonna have to check with Emily on that.
We don't have that.
On page 95, not to beat a dead horse, voices from the community, every one of those 4 bullet points, we have no control over. You cannot restrict trucks from public ways,
That's right.
period.
Yeah, that's Route 16, yeah.
Where's that, Bob?
Page 95.
Voices from the community,
Yeah.
all 4 bullet points are not applicable.
Yeah, so just
They're
take that
just
out.
No,
voices.
I don't agree. I think it's an issue. I think you're right. but I think that people complaining about truck, you can deal with speed and maybe even volume, but it's an issue. If you live on Route 16, it's an issue.
Oh, wait, I hear.
Problem is, you
3 in
can't
the
do
morning.
anything about it.
I'm sorry?
Can't control the truck
You
traffic.
can't control them, but that doesn't mean we need to take that out. I mean,
But it's if you-
these are comments from the community,
That's correct.
and if you live on Main Street, it doesn't have to be about that we can necessarily do something about that, other than maybe volume and speed and what have
Now,
you.
I tend to agree with Rich, because there are other measures that can be taken. I've seen areas where they say no Jake brakes used. You can put signage, you can,
Yes.
like I said, they establish truck routes, you could look into that. So again, it couldn't hurt to explore different options to help with truck traffic and the impacts.
It's true, but it's Route 16. You're not going to change truck traffic.
No, we're not
on
talking about
Route-
changing truck traffic. There are
Slow
other
it
measures-
down.
There are other measures that can be done to help with the impacts of truck traffic.
Speed bumps.
You can't do a speed bump on the...
No, let's not get into specifics. I just agree with leaving the quotes from the community.
That's fine.
I
They're
understand where you're
quotes.
coming from,
The
Bob.
third one is not even applicable. There are no Rhode Island tolls.
That's true, because they tried it and then they were
They
deemed
tried it,
illegal.
and they...
So now we're stuck looking at these e-tolling things
Yeah.
that are useless.
Yeah.
So that one's just, it's not
Yeah, take
even,
the third one out.
Okay.
Yeah, that can come out.
There's value in this comment.
Yeah, I think so.
Series of comments being, yeah.
146 coming out.
I mean, they are residential comments, I mean, the quotes. Leave them, not that an action could ever be taken, but at least they are a quote.
Anything else on that page, committee?
This one's coming out right.
Yep.
okay. So page 96 has key finding 7.
Another East Douglas at the top.
And then the second paragraph.
Yep.
This keeps up, it'll be easy to change the name.
We're saving on ink now.
Yeah.
Moving on to 97. We just talk more about the public transportation stuff. Moving on to 98. I think we just relocated some of the paragraphs here, but other than that, there's no changes. And then,
99.
yep, recommendations.
What page are you on?
99.
99.
We just, yeah, for action item 1.2, we talked about how a study would need to be conducted first. But other than that, there's no changes. For 1.3, yeah, 1.3, we just added some details to that action item. But, so yeah, so on page 100, most of that 1.3 section is new. So I think we should see how we feel about that one.
problem with that. That all looks good.
Okay. Anybody else?
I agree, it looks good.
Okay. Moving on
Did the
to,
town do a municipal vulnerability planning preparedness?
We did, yeah, we did a hazard, we just adopted a hazard mitigation plan.
Okay.
Where are we now? Sam?
I guess, so going on to 101 now. Starting with action item 2.2.
Goal 3, it says downtown Douglas, Linda.
Hey,
No East Douglas.
Look at that.
It's a win.
But the next page, it's got East Douglas all over.
Oh, no. I had such high hopes.
No, can't make up their mind.
2.2 was originally combined with another action item, so we kind of made it its own thing, just developing a formal process for the highway department to train new staff. And then, yeah, goal 3, improve mobility and livability in the downtown. That's all pretty much the same. Okay. So for action item 3.2, we actually, this is about the traffic through downtown Douglas. We added this action item based on committee comments saying if diverting traffic from East Douglas becomes feasible due to state regulation changes, conduct a study relating to how the town can divert truck traffic. Because as of right now, the state regulations kind of make it impossible to divert the
Ross isn't here to
traffic.
talk about the tunnel.
Tunnel.
Yes.
We need the tunnel.
Okay. Moving on to page 102.
But we weren't, just did one.
Yeah, okay, we just, yeah, so the
Oh.
first one was on diverting truck traffic, then moving on to goal 4 on that page.
103 has East Douglas again.
Yep. We removed action item 4.2, assess the feasibility of a fixed route bus service in the region, because WRTA is not going to move on that anytime, likely ever. Or at least within the next 20 years. So yeah, 103 starts with goal 5. Mostly all grammatical changes in this one.
On what page?
103.
103. On 104,
Go back to 103.
103?
Sam?
Yep.
Action item 5.2.
Yep.
First paragraph, third sentence. But not limited to narrow bridges, comma, East Douglas and the Gilboa Street North intersection. Well, we know about narrow bridges. We know about Gilboa North. What's East Douglas? So we've taken out the word east, but then we're left with Douglas.
How about downtown Douglas?
Yay.
That should change to downtown.
Every east should be changed to
Yes,
downtown.
Okay. On 104, we added
You don't mind me making
No.
we added a paragraph in the middle here just talking about possible pedestrian and cycling safety improvements.
I appreciate the sentence at the top that the town has the option to opt out. Because, yeah, if we find that, certain things don't work for the town, so I think that's good to mention that as a possibility.
Yeah.
Does that safe streets thing have to do with bump outs?
No, that's traffic
Oh,
calming.
okay.
That's
Because in the
different.
second paragraph, it discussed curb bump outs. That's where those, Parking things.
That's just an example.
in the
Or
street,
something that could be done, yeah.
because that's kind of like
'Cause I
what
know
they're
when
telling
when
us
we
we
mentioned
need
that,
to
Mike had
do.
very strong feelings about that.
I think we all do.
Yes, so, but again,
So-
it's just an example of a traffic calming measure, so nothing to get too worked over.
Oh, that'll slow them down already.
Well, Highwood does not want curb bump.
That's,
No.
yeah. So, yep,
So we're leaving it in?
yeah.
Okay. The end.
That's the end, yep.
Yay.
All right. Now we're going on to my chapters.
Do we vote to
Wait,
accept that
wait,
one?
wait,
Oh,
wait,
sorry.
wait.
Oh, got to vote, that's
Our
right.
chair has to
Oh, there we go.
take over the meeting now.
I was napping, sorry.
Oh,
All right, so, excuse me, transportation circulation. I'll entertain a motion to approve as amended.
I'll make the motion to approve transportation circulation with the amendments as noted.
Second.
Motion made by Bob, and you confused me, a second by
Bye,
Bob.
Bob.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those abstaining, those opposed, those abstaining? Guys have it. Thank you.
Two down.
Linda, you know who's who, right?
Sure. I wrote their names.
Yeah, Bob Evans.
Right, that's no help.
open space.
Open space next.
This is another fairly short one. Good.
I have a summary of my changes that I did.
You got us rolling, Sam.
This one is very short
Good.
because I have just like some small changes listed here.
Good.
So we could go through the chapter page by page.
There's a lot of maps in this one, too.
Dave.
so-
Yeah, so one of the comments is that on page 3, like the final maps that we're looking at, they'll all have like improved readability as we're
Yeah.
working with the graphic designer. We added a key terms and definitions section. Page 3, the paragraph was rewritten
What page?
on page, okay, yeah, so in the actual plan, page 3 is, let's see,
Is it?
1,
Oh,
2, so page 107.
okay, thank you.
We rewrote the paragraph about the open space features on this page to make clear that we're just like giving some examples and it's not like a complete list, which you can find in the open space and recreation plan. Then moving down from there. Let's see. Starting on page 111, we list some of the current open space and recreation projects that are currently underway as of 2026. And we just updated that list based on committee feedback and talking to some of the different stakeholders involved in open space, particularly the Open Space Committee. I would review that list, John, especially because I know you're involved in some of this.
Yeah, no, that list looks good. I can't think of anything else right now that
Okay.
needs to be added.
And then further down on this page, there's a description of the involvement of the Bay State Trail Riders.
Is that 112? Sam?
I'm going to find it here. It's 113.
13, okay.
Yeah. I just clarified, like, what they did. They purchased land behind the school to connect the, like, trail system behind the school to the Southern New England Trunkline Trail. So I just described that here. I see a comma that I need to fix because there's a space between the word and the comma.
You spelled Mozinski right. That's impressive.
Really?
On page 114, I clarified the different committees' budgets because some of the numbers were wrong there, and I just wanted to fix that.
We just started a donation account
Okay.
that's available through the website, the town website. Hoping to get donations to do some of our projects.
The Open Space Committee?
Yeah.
Oh, so Sam, after that, second paragraph under key finding 3, we now have a shared conservation agent with the town of Sutton, so we no longer employ a consultant as our conservation agent.
That's in the second?
Yeah, second paragraph under key finding 3, it says the town employs a consultant as a conservation agent.
It's just a shared thing
It's a
now.
shared
Okay.
conservation agent, full-time, with the town of Sutton.
So Gordon, sorry,
Oh, sorry.
regarding donations, is that something people can do online regarding donations? They can go online and do that?
You can go online and click it and donate to that account.
Okay, thank
We
you.
haven't really publicized it yet, but it's coming.
Okay, thank you.
And also, first line of the last paragraph, Sam, it says town's passive forest open space. Maybe add the term passive recreation, because someone may not know what passive means.
Where is that?
Last paragraph on page 114, first line. Although the Conservation Commission holds jurisdiction over many of the town's passive, add the term recreation
Yeah, okay.
after that, because someone may
Yeah.
not know what passive means.
Passive recreation.
Passive recreation, correct. Just as a clarification.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Okay. And then the last thing is, the last new change is down in the action items. I'm going to find the specific one here. Action item 3.1 on page 125.
Ooh, we're skipping? 125?
On this one, we just removed mention of a trail improvement grant that ended up not being awarded.
Yeah.
Other than that, most of the, there wasn't a lot of comments on this chapter, but if you want, we can go page by page still.
I didn't have any.
Okay,
No. Excellent.
okay.
I was the
We're cooking.
Yeah,
More down.
let's see.
And I was skeptical that we'd get all 14. Proved me wrong.
I was hopeful.
Yeah. You're always hopeful, Rich. Always hopeful.
Does that complete open space?
Yeah.
Yep, let's vote on it.
All right, Rich. Go.
All right, I'll entertain a motion,
Let's go.
just wind them
I
up.
feel like a drill sergeant. Move it.
Entertain a
Why
motion
is it
to approve open space and recreation as amended.
So moved.
Motion made by Michael,
Second.
seconded by Gord. Perfect. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, those abstaining, the ayes have it. Thank you. Moving on.
Okay. Moving on to
Natural culture.
I like the addition of key terms and definitions in these chapters. It's a really
Yeah.
good add.
Yeah, so we added the key terms and definitions here. This one has a bit more. On page 1, we're going to add the photograph that Linda gave us.
Well, it wouldn't be page 1.
Well,
129.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, page 129. And then there, for the history section, there's a lot of edits that Rebecca made.
The overview,
Yeah, she just made a lot of different clarifications here and there to different parts of the history.
What is BCE?
Before Common Era.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
how do you know these things? I'm always amazed when he knows it.
I don't know.
So yeah, I don't think we need to go through the history section as much, just because. But on page 9, I explained after.
9?
Yeah, or sorry. Page. Let me get you the actual page number. On page 136, I mentioned that Rawson Farm is off of U Street, because you had requested mentioning like where Rawson Farm is in town. On page, let's see. On the same page, we talk about the cemeteries. Actually, the page right after,
Yeah,
page 137. Rebecca had worked, there's a cemetery commission in town, and we gave this information to them, and they gave us more like details about the different important cemeteries in town, so I just included that here.
Is the cemetery commission mentioned here? That they have,
Yeah, we
They
can
maintain-
mention them. I can
maybe somewhere else? Or
I
should-
can just comment that the cemeteries are maintained by a cemetery commission.
But only the town ones, not all of them.
Well, these, oh, that's right, they
So,
wouldn't.
yeah, some of those.
Yeah,
St.
private
Dennis
cemeteries.
wouldn't be. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we got to change other stuff.
I mean, we could still
could just say
mention
town-owned
that They're
cemeteries, yeah.
responsible for the management of
Town-owned.
town-owned cemeteries. That's fine.
You can put that in that first paragraph.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-oh, Pine Grove Cemetery, East Douglas. Could be a drinking game. Every time where it says East Douglas, you take a shot.
We'd never get out of here.
Yeah, yeah.
Who cares?
That's not going to work.
We'd be overnight.
Skipping to 145, there's a mention of public access water bodies.
So hold on, Sam.
Sure.
38, just a mild comment. This chart that shows could we kind of frame that a little bit to give it some definition, like a border around it, and then kind of increase the size of the scale down below, make it a little bit more readable? Because it's just kind of out there.
Yeah, it's in the middle of a page.
Yeah, kind of put a border around it to give it some definition and just increase the size of the that scale.
Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, back to 145. There's a mention of public access water bodies, and we had included the Whitten Reservoir here. And so we just took that out because the Whitten Reservoir is not public access. And then the following page, let me get to that.
Sam, after you finish what you're doing, I want to go back to 141 briefly.
Yeah, we can do that now.
All right, 141, the map that you show, if you could just, can you increase the thickness of the boundary around Douglas? Because especially on the western side where it's dark green.
Oh, yeah.
It's really tough to see where the town boundary is.
Yeah.
So either a lighter color or more thickness there.
Yeah, sure.
What does it show? Is that the map you've got up?
Yes.
Yeah, it's this map.
Yeah, you see how on the western edge, because it's green, it's tough to see where the boundary is.
We're also just going to fix the
Yeah,
legend and
can't
everything in
even
this. We're going
tell,
to
yeah.
improve all the maps. But yeah, one of the
Big
things would
black
be
line.
clarifying where the boundaries are.
Yeah, either a lighter color or thicker.
Okay.
Actually, actually, the map doesn't look as dark on the computer screen as it does on the paper.
And then, yeah, same for this map coming up on 143. We had mentioned
Oh, yeah.
improving the trail thickness and everything, so that's going to, on the final copy, be improved. That was on 143. Moving into...
Or maybe even a different color, because the red is a little dark. Could it be like a yellow or something?
Sure. Coloring. Okay, but on page 146, I believe, let me see. Is that the one that shows the... No, sorry, page 147, we have a list of the different civic groups that are involved in historic preservation or natural resource cultivation, or natural resource protection. And on that list, we added a few from Rebecca, including the Douglas Heritage and Otter Committee, and then the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 7554, to the list of different cultural organizations.
Should the list be alphabetized?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, sure.
Alphabetized. Yeah, to make it a little bit more, flows better.
Do we have the Boy Scouts? Yep, there's the Scouts. I guess they're not called Boy Scouts anymore.
What are they called?
Scouts, because girls and boys can join together.
Well, what do they call the Girl Scouts?
They're
Scouts?
Scouts.
On that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no more Girl Scouts either?
Under the recurring events for July, coming in 2026, so that already occurred,
Oh, yeah.
if you want to remove that.
Oh, yeah.
July, Independence Day Parade.
Yeah.
And same thing coming back in 2026, right above it.
Yeah, any references to dates
Yeah.
excised.
Okay. And then I feel like I should clarify that in this first list, the actual list is of cultural organizations and initiatives that help sustain Douglas's community life. So if you have any others that you would like to add to this list that you know of, feel free to mention them. Well, that's actually a temporary committee, so I think we, yeah.
No, July, Independence Day Parade, that was a one-time event.
Is it?
Is it? Yeah.
Is it? Or is it
not
going
what
to be
Ross
coming
said.
in your...
But it's not going to be called an Independence, or it is in every
Yeah,
July 4th?
it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
on that committee.
Because we had the 250th is what the other
I'm
one
thinking
called.
250, not
Yeah.
Independence, okay.
I don't think we'll be here for the next one.
No.
Bob will be.
Maybe.
No way.
Just stuff you and put you in a car.
I'm sorry, Meg, did you already mention the Memorial Day Parade? Did we add that? You had mentioned something. Because that's going to be every,
That will be every year also, so
Yeah.
we could add
So that should be in May.
in May. Oh, it says that, Memorial Day Parade.
Oh, okay.
There it is.
Coming back in
Oh, yeah.
2026.
But yeah, we're deleting that, Bob. We say.
Yes,
oh, I see, sorry.
yeah.
And yeah, deleting those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then every other change here is just going to be to the wording, so.
And Sam, page 148. So, again, just there's this poem submitted. If we put like a border around it, just to give it some definition. That's all.
Sure.
We don't know who submitted it?
Is that submitted, or is that just a relevant poem?
That was submitted.
Oh, there you go. So
By volunteer.
volunteer. All right.
Yeah, I think they wanted to remain anonymous.
Okay.
So just put a border around it?
Yeah, just so it's not floating out in the...
Sure.
I'd like to highlight it.
Yeah, maybe a decorative border.
Make it look like a book page,
Sure.
Sure.
you know,
Ooh.
Yeah.
like a page out of a book.
The ruffled edges.
Yeah, ruffled edges.
Or like a scroll from the ink.
There you go. That's even better. Romans.
I'll mention it to the graphic designer. I'm sure she has some idea for how to make
Yeah.
it shine. Yeah.
Make it look nice.
Instead of a boring square.
Yeah. Okay.
Where are we?
That was it for the major edits. So
I'm way ahead of you, Bob. I'm going to entertain a motion.
Oh, God. Bob, the one who's always saying, oh, we could stay later, now he's in a hurry.
So moved.
We need to make a motion.
Bob has a hot date tonight.
So you made that motion?
Nobody, I don't think.
Nobody made
So I'll entertain a motion to approve the natural, cultural, and historic resources element as amended.
So moved.
Moved by Meg, seconded by Bob.
Bob Allen.
Bob M.
Bob, yeah. Well, we know which Bob it is. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, those abstaining, ayes have it. Thank you.
I am impressed.
Can I ask a quick question? Where is 14 Main Street?
is that in the natural resources section?
You know where
It's on
that is?
page
I
56.
can say where it is.
It doesn't, it's not on the map.
Yeah, you can't really see it. Okay, it's, as you're going up Main Street, going towards the town common, do you see this like it's almost like a big metal thing, square thing?
Oh, it's brick.
Yeah, the
The
building
is
itself
brick.
You mean the old pump house?
But,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it
It's
is.
the old pump house.
Yeah,
Because it's not,
but how you can find this, you see this.
There's like a right-of-way between all the residences, and that's how you get in there.
Falling down.
It's up on the hill, I think.
You
okay.
wouldn't see it going by.
It's a
yeah, it doesn't, it's not
dilapidated-
referenced like on the map. 14 Main Street doesn't exist
It used to be
on the
a
map.
big pump house.
On what map? The town
In the
website?
plan?
on the town map.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh, okay, in Google Maps?
Yeah, it's a regrid, same kind.
Maybe,
Okay.
maybe that's not the address.
Well, there is no 14.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Maybe this in here is wrong. Because that's what I was thinking. It's kind of close to the, yeah. Yeah, that's
It would be on
right.
the opposite side of the street.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
But it would be, I don't know.
Yeah, we can verify the,
Maybe just worth looking into.
yeah.
Can you see where that Buckeye
can look
property
at the
is?
actual
On our website, what it's, the address
I
is.
get
The parcel map.
I get 8 Main Street.
See what number
I
Valencourt?
mean, that's after the highway barn, heading towards
Yeah.
town.
What number is Dottie Valencourt's house? It's right aside of her.
There's the common.
So keep going towards the highway barn,
It's right, just before the
after the
split.
highway.
8?
I know it's up on the hill.
That's
There's a hill
38,
there.
and we didn't get to the barn
No,
yet.
When I was a kid, you could hear that thing pumping.
there must be
All
another
the way down
missing.
to down a Lucky Dam Road at night.
Was the town
The
of
highway
Douglas,
department
keep going.
is 56, you're looking
It's
for 8?
after the Rydell Street. There it is. There's the,
Oh, that's the mobile property.
yes. That's the old Buckeye property.
Right, which is 104 Main Street.
104 Main.
But you're
So
saying...
we're missing a zero.
A zero, okay.
Okay.
14.
So Sam, can we change that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There. Yeah, 'cause I see exactly what you're saying.
good catch.
It's not where it's,
Not that
I was looking at it too, and I'm
No.
thinking, well, maybe it is.
I was like, wait a minute.
And in fact, I tried to get online, I couldn't get on. Sometimes,
What page was that, Meg? 56?
56.
yep, right here.
Yeah, 14, that is 104.
good count.
Any further comments, considerations, questions regarding anything we've gone over? All right, well, that's it. We've gone over every element.
Do we do lameness?
Yeah, we did that
Yeah.
last
We did
week.
that last...
Yeah, the first meeting.
Done. We did them all.
We did
Yes.
20 minutes.
Oh, the
Oh,
letter,
come on.
Oh, we can fill it. We can.
Rich, the letter to the community.
Yes.
Did you amend that?
Well,
Remember
we're going
looked
to,
at-
we didn't
Oh,
really
okay.
finish working it, if you will.
Okay.
So I think I submitted to you a draft letter from the committee. It's really technically from the planning board and the master plan committee. And you took a look at it and you made some edits, which is fine. And we're going to continue that this evening. Bob, I think you had some recommendations. Well, I remember. Actually, you were talking about the implementation committee.
We had it the
Do
last
we need to
meeting.
expand on that?
You have a copy of the letter?
No, I don't.
I have,
Because of
but there was some
Oh, there we go.
amended, certain entities.
So the letter, if, once it's approved, if it's approved, would be a full page, and it would be on town stationery. So it'd be compressed a bit. It's big font now, but it'd be compressed and be on town stationery, if you will. And I really thought it'd be a nice touch if we had a signature page, and it'd be the signatures of both Master Plan Committee and the Planning Board, and those others who have been involved.
Just like Declaration of Independence.
That's what it's going to be like. So we'll have a full signature page, and
We could have a pen, like a quill pen.
I thought it'd be a nice touch, because years from now, I think people will appreciate that.
Years from now, they won't be able to read it because they can't read cursive.
Can't read cursive.
You could use an auto pen.
Yeah, there you go.
How many people here learned cursive in school?
We all did.
Everybody?
Yeah.
I learned the Palmer method in the
Oh, yes.
Catholic school.
Yeah,
God help me.
we all learned it.
So Rich, my comment was something to the effect of your participation is invited, or participation from interested community members is welcome and encouraged.
Yeah, that's right. I remember the comments. Make it sound more welcoming,
Okay,
more inviting.
okay.
Yeah, but various boards.
So you're going to draft another one?
I am,
Okay.
and I'll send you,
Well, we'll keep it on the agenda, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
For the August meeting.
So the draft of this thing has been reviewed and approved.
Yep.
Wow. Excellent.
Take a moment to think about that. Thank you. Really,
No.
thank you, Rich.
No, thank you, thank everybody. This is really probably the most interesting committee you'll ever be on, I think. You want to put your thumbprint on the town and its history, this is the place to be. Plus, it was fun. I mean, some of the conversations and extrapolations
Oh, that's a good extrapolation. That's very
Instead of digress.
is really the best part of this committee, and that's how it was last go-around.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, so thank you.
This is the good stuff. Yeah.
So the only thing left is, and we can move this, it was a last-minute thing on my part. There was a Riverwalk that was being worked on, and Bob was good enough, and Margaret were working on that Riverwalk proposal. So I was asking them for an update to see where that was. I don't know if you just want to give a verbal now and tell us where it is, or do you want me to move that to the next meeting?
Actually, that right now, behind the scenes, they had the public charrette, design charrette and outreach, and we received enough information where now CMRPC is going to coordinate with Margaret because she had a conceptual design for it, and right now they're working on that behind the scenes, and then we will, the team will discuss how to roll that out to the public and present that. So I think that's where we stand right now.
Well, I would like to say that there's two.
There's two Riverwalks.
Right.
It's going to bring that up.
Yep, there's Gilboa, and then we have the one on
B Street.
B Street. So I did have a Zoom meeting with Tamu from Central. Taru?
Yes.
Taru. Last week. I guess there's the one on B Street is attractive for funding purposes because it's so close to the center of town. So I look at the B Street, it has the potential, and I know everybody's worried about contamination, but, and I think, Bob, you mentioned if you're not digging,
Correct.
then you don't have an issue with contamination. So I look at that one, if you did that one in phases, you could easily just go in there and make a nice little pathway.
So hold on, Margaret. Are you talking about for now or in the future? Because we've gone over this and we're focusing on Gilboa Street right now. We've decided that that's the priority.
Well,
I'm just giving you an update.
At the Economic Development Commission meeting next week, and I don't want to take words away from you, next Wednesday, we have Margaret presenting on the B Street one, correct?
Right.
Not the Gilboa one.
Right.
I don't know that we decided it was one or the other.
Well, with this grant that we have, we did. The grant for
Yeah.
conceptual design is for the Gilboa Street.
Gilboa Street, but that's independent of
Okay.
B Street, because
Okay.
B Street is being tied to downtown development.
Okay,
Whereas Gilboa is isolated.
correct, yeah.
But if you could, if it's possible for you to present both, not present fully, but just touch on the other as well?
Sure, I will.
Because definitely there's people
Well, you know, I
as
told-
part of the economic development that won't know the difference between the
Right,
two.
right. Actually, what I'll do is I've got the two plans.
Okay, that would be really
Just
helpful.
conceptual.
Yep.
But I do get a lot of, when I go to the post office, people come up to me and ask me about the B Street. There's a lot of interest in that, and I think a lot of people think that's going ahead. But we haven't got to that point yet.
I think the holdup was because the town council had said without doing test holes, we don't want it.
And also, we don't have control of that.
We don't
property.
own
It's
it.
not our property.
That's not our property, so.
And if we do test holes and it's contaminated,
I
then the
know.
owner is liable.
I know, but
So-
we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves. I mean, that is just a potential for the town to secure that property. It has a lot of promise, and then if you're not going to do any excavation, and this is obviously something that would have to be pursued, then you don't have to worry about the contamination. That kind of goes away.
So it's designed so whatever you're doing is on top of that.
That's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you go down there, you know, it's not going to be a huge park, and there's plenty of places to park right along B Street where you can access down into there with just a little walking path and a couple picnic tables.
Which is fine. And what was interesting is it would tie to the downtown.
That's correct, and that's why it has a lot of potential.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is where the EDC comes in to
Right.
expand on that starting point.
And the landowner has said that he will be willing to give it to the town. But he's not going to let somebody, he hasn't even said this to me. I'm reading his mind, and this is how I would advise him. Do not let anybody go digging it. There may not be anything there, but you don't go opening those cans of worms.
But to Linda's point on the
Yeah.
other property on Gilboa Street, 65 Gilboa, the town has to do its due diligence and know what it's getting into if it's going to take that property.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
Where
you
did
and
you
I
say-
met with one of the
Because there's another property on Gilboa Street that's been talked about
Oh, I know
for
which
that
one you
walk.
mean.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So the town has to know fully what it's getting into before it takes that property, so.
And there's two halves to that property. There's
Yeah.
the front half, which has dumpings on it, the back half, which is all virgin soil.
Right.
I think they sound promising.
Oh, I think so too, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's up to the powers that be to let it go through.
Right. One step at a
Right.
time.
Baby
And we've
steps.
already been told
Baby steps.
it's got to be tested, the B Street.
Does the town have more of an interest now in looking at 65?
We are currently doing our homework on that to see if it's a possibility, to see what the different options are for that property as far as the conceptual design for the walking trail, where that's going to be. You know, 65 Gilboa Street, we do have some documents in the past. It never went to Mass DEP, but there was some, I call it informal testing done. It wasn't formally done. So we're looking into what was found, what if something was found, what the levels are and what that means and how we go from there.
You mean those records weren't destroyed?
No, I have a
Oh,
whole
good.
file on it in my
Oh,
office.
excellent.
So basically, stuff was
Something.
found, but we've been having discussions with our resident expert on that path.
Well, that's
In
hopeful.
terms of what it means.
At least we found something.
And the example we gave, there's like arsenic.
Yes.
Arsenic is found everywhere.
Right. Right.
It was identified as a substance, but it's everywhere.
Correct.
But what I saw was oil.
Well, we didn't see any of that when we walked
Yeah.
on that property, so we.
No, it was in a huge, they were digging for something,
Right.
the owner, and
Right.
Conservation went and checked out the violation, there's this huge hole full of oil.
Right.
But we
And then-
won't be digging for trails.
No.
Right, there you go.
Right.
That's right.
But there's that big mound of contaminated soil. That's what that mound is.
That might have to be removed. We
Right.
But again,
discussed that.
potentially, can't
We
say.
We-
don't know
Potentially.
what's,
I don't know what happened
Yeah.
to it, so.
and I'm trying to get a hold of the owner to get.
Because when Mass DEP gets involved, there's a system and a procedure and methods to sampling and testing. And the testing that was done was not done under those guidelines. So there's some questions as far as the sampling methods and the testing methods, so he's looking into that for us.
No, I did email Sam copies of the plans. I don't know if anybody wants to look at them. I was interested.
Can we send those to PDF files,
Yeah.
correct? Can we just send those to everybody in the
Yeah,
community?
yeah, that would be good, coming out of this meeting, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, they're just conceptual.
Concept.
That's all.
So a question, there appears to be a potential to conflate the two projects.
Yes.
Does it make sense to call them different things? And I might even suggest the Riverwalk is the one on B Street, and is the other one the Riverfront Walk? Or, in other words, is there a way to,
Well,
Mumford
one's being
River
called the
Park?
Gilboa Street Trail right now.
Yep.
okay,
Yes.
River Trail?
The other one
Yes,
is-
the
And call it B Street. Why not?
The
B Street
Gilboa
Riverwalk.
Trail.
And then if they join one day, we change the name to one name.
Right, right.
But we don't know if that's going to ever happen, so.
Yeah, because that's going to be a little more difficult, joining
Yeah,
the two.
yeah, definitely.
I have another question for Bob, or anybody. The determination of the parking lot being used. Do we have any determination
No,
on
we're
that?
not touching the parking lot.
right.
We might do some minor things along the edges, like invasive,
No, I mean for our parking.
what's that?
Well-
Oh, no.
Or
that's-
events.
Well, that's on hold because.
They own the parking
But
rights.
our town administrator has resigned, so.
Effective last Friday.
Yep, effective
The
last
person who
Friday,
was
so-
handling that is now resigned.
Yep, so we have some projects like that that are now on hold
Yeah.
until we.
One of us has to get in touch with town council to see where he went with that, how far he went.
Yeah.
Right, because the EDC was also interested in some things happening there,
Yeah,
Yeah,
so.
events.
right,
So,
because that's the key. We
Well,
need
eventually-
that.
I assume they're going to start a search for a new town administrator, and
we
hopefully...
don't know, we're supposed to have a staff meeting today that
next
got
Tuesday,
postponed because the select
select
board
meeting.
didn't meet.
Okay.
So we're going to meet, we're supposed to meet on the 5th during the day to
Yeah.
get an update from the acting town
And that's a
administrator.
Wednesday.
Yep.
After the Tuesday night selectmen
Yep.
meeting.
So staff is we're not being told much right now, so hopefully we will next week.
I imagine even their meetings are probably in executive session, because this is the type of thing you really don't want to get out. I'm sure they're dealing with town council, so. But if we do get somebody new, it'd be nice if they have economic development background.
Well, that's been discussed.
Well, yeah, I've had, in conversations with the chief, Bob and I have expressed our desire, because I know when I was in the town of Rentham, what was great, when they got down to their 3 finalists, they broke staff into groups of departments and had the 3 finalists come through and have like a mini kind of lightning round interview with department heads, and we really appreciated that because it gave us an input into the process. So he said he's going to be suggesting that for this process, and I think that would be excellent to do that.
That's a great idea.
Mike King.
What's that?
That's how you got Mike King? Or
In Rentham, no, that was Kevin.
Kevin Sweet?
Yeah, Kevin Sweet, yeah, at the time, yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the update on the Riverwalk and the other. I appreciate your work. We really do. And we're hopeful some of this comes to fruition. Fingers crossed.
No.
Any other business? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Michael, seconded by Gordon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Peace.
I have this.